A solar eclipse, one of the rarest phenomena that can be experienced on Earth. If you've seen one, you are extremely lucky, as a solar eclipse only happens 2 times every 3 years on a tiny portion of Earth. And once an eclipse has occurred at a location, it won't be back at that exact spot for at least another 360 years. On Earth, a solar eclipse occurs when the Sun, Moon, and Earth are perfectly aligned. The Moon passes in front of the Sun, blocking the sunlight and creating a shadow on a portion of the Earth. A total solar eclipse as we know it will not always be possible, as our Moon is gradually moving away from the Earth by 4 centimeters each year. We only have 600 million more years to enjoy these insane events, because after that, a total eclipse on Earth will be no more. But what about the other planets in our solar system? Are they capable of experiencing this too, or is this something sacred to the place we call home? The first thing to note is that our moon is not the only moon. On Earth, we have one moon that we have so lovingly and creatively called the moon, but it's not the only one. Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all have one or more moons orbiting around them. Now the question is, will everything align perfectly to create a solar eclipse? Let's work our way from closest to the Sun to farthest. Mercury and Venus don't have moons, and we know about the eclipse situation here on Earth, but what about Mars? Mars has 2 moons, named Phobos and Deimos. Both Phobos and Deimos are too small to create a total solar eclipse, but they've aligned and crossed in front of the Sun, making a partial eclipse. Next up is Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system and has the most moons, 79 to be exact. Now, because Jupiter is so large, has so many moons, and is so far away from the Sun, it has all the ingredients for a solar eclipse, and several at the same time. In fact, we have an image from 2004 that the Hubble telescope took, and we can see 3 moons passing in front of the Sun and giving 3 locations of a total solar eclipse. Behind Jupiter is Saturn, and Saturn has a lot going on. As of now, it has 53 moons that have been named and 29 that have yet to be confirmed. Once they're confirmed, Saturn will have a total of 82 moons, not including its rings. It's important to point out that the rings around Saturn aren't actually rings. They're chunks of rock, dust, and ice that are orbiting around it, being represented as rings in drawings and in diagrams. Just like a moon, Saturn's rings can block sunlight, causing shadows to be cast onto the planet. And in return, depending on the position of the rings and the Sun, Saturn can also cast a shadow onto its own rings. But out of all Saturn's moons, only 7 are close enough and large enough to eclipse the Sun totally. Moving out 1.84 billion miles away from the Sun is Uranus. Uranus has 27 known moons, and about half of them are able to eclipse the Sun. It turns out an eclipse on Uranus is even more rare than on Earth, because it only occurs every 42 years. The last recorded eclipse was between 2007 and 2008, when the 4th largest moon, Ariel, caused a total solar eclipse. Next up is Neptune. Neptune also has the conditions to experience an eclipse, but it's certainly going to be different than the ones on the other planets. Neptune has 14 different moons, but is 2.78 billion miles away from the Sun, and it only receives 1/900th of the light that we receive on Earth. Neptune is dark, and the Sun looks like any other star that we might see in the night sky. 6 of Neptune's inner moons can create a solar eclipse, but the Sun is too far and appears so small that the eclipse is over in a matter of seconds. And last but not least, we have our dwarf planet Pluto. On Pluto, the Sun looks 40 times smaller than it does on Earth, and Pluto has 5 moons, and even though none of them are larger than a kilometer, its largest moon, Charon, will create a solar eclipse every 120 years. Charon is so close and the Sun is so far that it's impossible for it to not pass in front. The eclipse will last for 6.5 Earth days, and the shadow will engulf half of the planet because it is so small. It's pretty clear that eclipses in our solar system are extraordinary, as many of the conditions have to be precise for this event to happen, and it's even more incredible that scientists have had the documentation, technology, and patience to record these events all throughout our solar system. Hopefully, they will keep this up so we continue to learn about our expanding galaxy. Thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new from this video or enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below to let me know what topic I should do a video on next. And press subscribe if you like interesting science videos because I make them twice a month. Until next time.